Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew.
And my name is Summer.
Thank you for joining us on 60 Minutes tonight in this important conversation about one of the most tragic and devastating forms of victimization, which is murder. Every year, millions of people around the world are affected by homicide, not just the direct victims, but their families, communities, and society as a whole.
Tonight, we will be diving into the issue of murder. Who is affected by it, what factors contribute to it, and most importantly, what we can do as individuals and communities to reduce the occurrence of the senseless violence.
We will discuss what murder is, the demographics most impacted, the alarming statistics surrounding homicide, and potential solutions to this pressing issue. And we'll finish with a call to action, because the fight against murder is one that involves all of us. Now here's Gabe and Michael with the impact of murder.
I'm Gabriel. I'm Michael. So let's begin with the basics. What is murder? Murder is the unlawful killing of one human being by another, typically with intent or malice. While this legal definition may seem straightforward, the reality is far more complex. Murder is not just an event. It's a violent act that causes irreversible harm, not only to the victim, but to their loved ones and often to entire communities.
The psychological toll of losing a loved one to murder is profound. Families often experience prolonged grief, trauma, and a range of mental health issues that include depression, anxiety, PTSD. In fact, studies show that homicide survivors, those who have lost someone to murder, are more likely to suffer from these conditions than other types of families that haven't had murder. Now here's Caitlin and Andrew with the demographic impact of murder.
Murder impacts individuals across every demographic, but certain groups are disproportionately affected by homicide. One of the most startling trends is the disproportionate impact on young Black men in the United States. According to the CDC, homicide is the leading cause of death for Black males between the ages 18 and 24. This age group alone accounts for nearly 1/3 of all homicide victims in the country.
In fact, men in general are more likely to become victims of homicide. According to the FBI Uniform Crime Report, UCR, about 73% of homicide victims in the U.S. are male, with the majority of them being between the ages of 18 and 34. The vast majority of these deaths are due to gun violence, which plays a major role in driving up homicide rates in the U.S. and around the world.
Additionally, communities in impoverished urban areas are hit hardest by murder. A report from the National Violent Death Reporting System, or the NVDRS, found that areas with high poverty rates and high concentrations of violent crime see homicide rates that are up to 6 times higher than in wealthier communities. These areas are often plagued by gang violence, drug trafficking, and a lack of social support systems, factors that increase the likelihood of violent crime.
Now here's Gabe and Michael with some murder statistics.
Now let's take a deeper look at the data surrounding murder and the impact. According to FBI data in 2022, there were 22,000 homicides in the United States, making it one of the deadliest years on record in recent decades. That averages out to about 1 murder every 24 minutes. Even more concerning is the upward trend in these numbers. Between 2019 and 2022, the US saw an increase of over 30% in homicides, largely driven by factors such as gun violence, domestic violence, and the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, which led to increased social isolation, economic stability, and mental health crisis.
To break that down further, the CDC's National Center for Health data reports that in 2021, gun-related homicides accounted for nearly 80% of all murders in the United States. And the role of firearms in homicides is a global issue, not just an American issue. Countries with high gun ownership, such as the US, tend to have higher homicide rates than countries with lower gun ownership. For instance, in 2022, the US homicide rate was approximately 6.9 per 100,000 people, whereas countries like Japan and Canada have a rate less than 1 per 100,000 people.
Another alarming statistic, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, about half of all homicides are related to the interpersonal conflict. This includes arguments, domestic violence, and gang disputes. However, a large percentage of homicides, about 30%, also result from robbery, drug trafficking, or other criminal activities.
Now here's Summer and Caitlin with the social and economic impact of murder.
The consequences of homicide extend far beyond the immediate victim and their family. Communities are left with deep scars, fear, social unrest, and a sense of insecurity. Homicide also has profound economic costs. In the U.S., the estimated economic burden of murder and non-negligent manslaughter is over $100 billion annually. This includes law enforcement costs, legal proceedings, lost productivity, and the long-term social welfare costs associated with their surviving family members.
These costs are compounded by the trauma inflicted on those who witness or are affected by murder. Research indicates that homicide survivors often experience higher levels of PTSD, depression, and substance abuse, and the impact can last for years or even decades. Survivors may also face financial hardship, as many are left to cope with funeral costs, medical expenses, and emotional distress without sufficient support.
Breaking news. A 25-year-old black man was shot and killed while he was out on a jog in the Satia Shores neighborhood near Brunswick, Georgia. Aubrey was not a suspect in any crime but was confronted by two white men, Travis McMichael and his father Gregory McMichael, who were armed and pursuing him in their pickup truck. The McMichaels had spotted Aubrey running through the neighborhood and believed he resembled a person they had seen on surveillance footage from previous burglaries in the area. Without any legal authority, they decided to chase Aubrey down. A third man, William Ronald Bryan, who was a neighbor, joined the pursuit and recorded a video of the incident, which would later become crucial in the investigation and prosecution. Now here's Michael live on scene.
I'm live here in Brunswick, Georgia, on the scene where the video filmed by William Bryan is getting key controversy. It showed the final moments of Ahmaud Aubrey's life and was key bringing the killers to justice. Bryan recorded the footage with his phone while he was driving behind McMichaels, who was pursuing Aubrey in their truck. In the video, we see Aubrey was seen jogging down the road as he reaches McMichael's truck. Travis McMichael exits the vehicle and approaches Aubrey with a shotgun. A struggle ensues between Aubrey and McMichael, and Aubrey is shot at close range, resulting in his death. The video clearly shows Aubrey trying to defend himself before he is shot multiple times by Travis McMichael. After the shooting, Aubrey's lifeless body is visible on the pavement in the video. The video played a crucial role because it directly contradicted the initial police reports and statements made by the McMichaels. They claimed that they were attacking in self-defense, which clearly is not true, and it aligned that Aubrey had attacked Travis McMichael when he was confronted. However, the video shows differently. It shows Aubrey did not pose a threat before he was shot, and then McMichael's version of events was widely disputed by what the footage revealed. The McMichaels were arrested and charged with murder and aggravated assault. After the video went viral and the case attracted national attention, William Bryan, who had filmed the video, was also arrested and charged with felony murder and the criminal attempt to commit false imprisonment for his role in the incident. The video was crucial in establishing that Aubrey was not committing any crime at the time of his death, and that he was merely jogging in a public area when he was chased down and killed. The video also helped authorities verify that McMichaels had no unlawful reason to stop or confront Aubrey, proving that it was all racial bias.
The trial for the three men started, and the video played a significant role in the prosecution's case. The defendant's attorney attempted to argue that the McMichaels had acted in self-defense, but the video evidence, along with other testimony, showed otherwise. The jury convicted Travis McMichael, Gregory McMichael, and William Bryan of murder and other charges related to Aubrey's death. Specifically, Travis McMichael, who fired the fatal shots, was found guilty of malice murder and felony murder. Gregory McMichael, Travis's father, was convicted of felony murder and other charges. William Bryan, who filmed the video and pursued Aubrey in his own vehicle, was also convicted of felony murder. Travis McMichael, the son, was 36 and got life plus 10 years in prison. Gregory McMichael, the father, was 66 years old and got life plus 7 years in prison. William Bryan, the neighbor, was 52 years old and he got 35 years in prison for committing federal hate crimes and other offenses in connection with the killing.
After this short break, we'll be back with future prevention and solutions to try to get rid of murder.
So what can be done to reduce the number of murders and protect innocent lives? The good news is that prevention is possible, and there are several key strategies we can adopt to address the issue. Stronger gun control laws. The easy availability of firearms is a key factor driving the high murder rates in the US. Stricter laws on background checks, assault weapon bans, and measures to curb illegal gun trafficking could have a significant impact on reducing gun violence. Community-based violence prevention. Programs such as Operation Peacemaker Fellowship in Richmond, Virginia have shown great success in reducing gun violence by working directly with individuals at high risk of committing violence. These programs focus on mentorship, conflict resolution, and providing economic opportunities to young people in high crime areas.
Mental health support and domestic violence prevention is another one that is helping us. It addresses underlying mental health issues. Substance abuse and domestic violence can go a long way towards reducing homicides. Ensuring that individuals in crises have access to proper mental health care, therapy, and conflict resolution services is very important. Reforming the justice system. It's crucial that law enforcement agencies have the tools, trainings, and resources to effectively investigate and solve homicides. Additionally, police reform efforts to increase accountability, reduce racial profiling, and building trust between law enforcement and communities are also very important to reducing violence. And now here's Andrew with the rest.
Murder is an issue that affects every one of us. It's not only a statistic, it's a human tragedy that leaves lifelong consequences. The good news is that it can be prevented if we take action. From advocating for gun control laws to supporting victims' families and fostering strong community networks, we can all contribute to reducing violence. Whether it's through pushing for a better mental health services, supporting community outreach programs, or simply speaking about the importance of peace and justice, we can all make a difference.
It's on us to stop murder.
You relapsed at the 1 month mark, 12 month mark. There's a lot of rioting.